Hello and welcome to my Pillars of Eternity Definitive Edition Blind Playthrough. Today we have already part number 42, and in the last episode we started to play, started to visit the area of Elm Shore, which was a little bit under our level, so the game offered us to upscale the content, and we got ass kicked pretty bad right away from the big company of ogre druids. Anyway, we were able to get more into the Act 3, finished Null and Device bounty, and took few more bounties. So today probably we'll try to find or beat more of these bounties from the Kednua, and maybe then go to White March or into Twin Elms village or city. So let's start. So let's check.
Need something?
We still do
Your
not
thoughts
need
must flow deeply indeed.
rest, so let's go right away for some of the bounties. Anyway, the entourage is almost all level 13 with the exceptions of Sagani and Pelagina.
Last thing we would need is another foreign colony.
So we have these new bounties and russet wood. We cannot get into catacombs yet, and clear Banrilak. So, clear Banrilak and russet wood. Oh, not this one. Esternwood and clear Banrilak. We will keep this company still. And let's go to Esternwood first. It's closer. Not much, but we'll see how the bounty goes. A supplicant. For 3 days. Let's send Kana with it. With him. And let's see where the company is. I presume they might be here. At least that's the first place where I want to search.
Hmm? Oh?
Be cautious. Be constant.
Maybe. Oh, War Mage. So let's stun him right away.
Yes?
Not even blowing it!
Oh, I'm confused. So let's take her down. Good. And where are you? Where are you?
Worse than rock!
Oh, let's use disintegration. Okay, Torpin is down.
I'll stay out of sight.
Thorfinn has been dealt with, and I can deliver his head to Warden Firgen to receive the reward I was promised. One more grimoire.
Hmm? Hmm?
Good. First bounty down. Next one will be there in 2 days. We have another supplicant, so let's send escort and Devil of Kirk this time.
Certainly.
So let's see where the bounty is now.
Margaret's fire casts light in dark places.
Okay, this one needs like... not needs, looks like he is good for the stun. And you go knock him down. Ouch. That was bad. Let's do this. And you knock down him. This one went a little bit not as expected. And Doggy. Oh. Let's heal them. And one more.
Pulling it down!
What do we have here? Songsmith down. Oh my god, I didn't forget this.
Mow.
One more stun. Everything is fine. Oh, exceptional plate armor. Ruska is dead, and in return for her head, Firgen will give me a bounty reward I was promised.
I'm ready.
Yes? Yes?
I'll stay out of sight.
Looks like that's all the loot, and
I'm ready.
I'll let with our druid.
Oh?
Okay, our next go is Larryman. Yes, Larryman, and Copperline will be later. So it's here. Let's see if it's in upper level or the lower level of Larryman. And I completely forgot that I have looted this one. Code of Ill Payment. And it's damage reduction 14. Let's see. This build.
Certainly.
So, where do you think we find them? Let's go here first.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Nope.
To whispers and shadows.
Not here as well.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves. Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Not here as well. Let's see the last place.
I'm on the trail.
Nope. So looks like it's in the different level of Larryman. Just in case. He is around the ruins of Laren. Oh. The stairs have collapsed, leaving a long drop to the floor. Look below. The lower floor is dark, but you see puddles of water and fungi growing on the stone surfaces. Anchor a grappling hook to the edge and climb down. You secure a grappling hook to a cleft in the broken stairs and toss the line down. As you slide down the rope, the rushing of water rumbles in your ears. It sounds as though the lake from the gorge is still draining into some distant reservoir. Suddenly, a violent tremor rocks the cavern and you feel your grip loosen from the rope. Mammalian's hands release their grip on the rope and Mammalian plummets, landing face first on the wet floor. You reach the bottom, your feet splashing in a puddle of water.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
And we have opened the shortcut between the ruins. So let's see if we can find the troll here. Looks like yes, and this will be bad. I hate the droids.
Oh?
Love.
No. First droid down. Okay, let's... No, don't do this yet. Oh shit. Just in case. And no, he just got... Let's finish him off and you fast while you can. Do this. And one more. And let's try to finish him from the far away. Heal yourself. So you are down. Long range, kill him. Let's try this one. Doggy is down. Yes. Okay, first druid is down at least. And hopefully soon the second one too. Yes. Let's disintegrate him. Nope, you still need some more. Let's try to stun.
Certainly.
Where are you?
Yeah?
The Baru beyond sea.
And one more.
The Baru beyond sea.
Oh, he's gone.
Yes?
So let's change the weapons.
Ready, Watcher.
What?
Oh?
Glasdale's been dealt with. Once I return to Wired and fire again with the bounty, he'll give me the coin that was offered.
Certainly.
Oh, one more swamp spore. Uh,
Your thoughts must flow deep into you.
That didn't work! Need to try something else!
what the hell?
Yeah.
Ready, Watcher.
Need something? Fuck!
So we'll need one more rope. Okay,
Certainly.
another bounty finished, so let's get out of here. Let's go to Kednoa to turn in the bounties and get a sleep.
Gelade. Well done. A formidable fortress in the old style. We don't build them like this anymore, you know. Not by the sea. Too vulnerable to cannons.
Kana is back. I hate that the lodge has been put outside the walls. It takes always too long to get for the bounties. Let's see what rewards we get.
Gods keep you.
Firgin Natsadu. Good hunting, I hope. What can I do for you? I brought the head of Glasdale. One nasty troll's head for a nasty little alchemist. I'll let him know the job's done. In the meantime, here's your bounty. Anything else? I'm here for the bounty on Rosca. You may have averted another war of the Black Trees, eh? Here's the coin we were offering. I've got Thorfinn's hat. Seems like crossing the nightstand to lead to a bad end. They pay well enough. Anyway, here you are. Farewell. I climbed the bounty on Glasdale. I claimed the bounty on on Songsmith Rosca. And I claimed the bounty on the High Priest Thorfinn. A new quest. From the eastern reach to Edir to Old Valia, people of all ages are manifesting a strange and distinctive one mark somewhere on the inside of their left thigh. There appears to be no common link between the individuals, nor has any of them reported any ill effects from the mark, but few think that it is a herald of good thing to come. Some well-traveled villains have claimed that a not-so-secret society has taken an interest in the marked people and may have something nefarious in mind for them. Uh, let's go with Kana again.
Yes? Certainly.
Last thing the Deerwood needs is another foreign colony.
How did he get swollen eye? Okay. So let's check first Aloth if he has any new spells in these books.
Cores.
Oh, few of them, yes. So let's learn them. And a few more interesting spells. Good. We can put them all in the stash. Chain lightning. This one is interesting. Interesting. Good. I think that's okay for now. Oh, we don't have a boots for him, so this might be good for him. Let's use this boost. Okay, I keep Aloth for now, and Grieving Mother will have some rest. So let's level up him. I'm out of spells, so let's take the 2 highest level. And spell mastery. Hmm. This might be a little bit good against some casters, but no. Okay. Let's use this. One more level. Good. This one. And talents. Let's use this as well. Two levels for Aloth. Okay, let's exchange another one, and this will be Manaha instead
I will
of.
wait in the place of your strength. Farewell.
So let's level up Manaha. This one is perfect for the barbarian.
Hmm?
Okay, let's take a nap. Your eyes open to a familiar scene. Durance sits with his staff laid across his lap, a malignant flame sprouting from one end. He is difficult to make out, his features soft, bleeding together, but the staff you can see clearly. It's etching a glow and molten orange. Though Duran's face is difficult to distinguish, there is no mistaking the hardened expression, the furrowed brow. His voice hisses and sputters, low and unintelligible, as though having a private argument with the staff. Traces of spittle catch the firelight as they fly from his lips like sparks. And to your surprise, there is a female figure behind him. You are about to call out a warning when you realize it is the Magran statue where you met Durance at the fork. Yet, she seemed almost alive for a moment. Her cast shadow seemed as if it was moving, cloaked. Then it is still, frozen with the night as at its back. Examine the stuff. There is something odd about one of the symbols, a circle of 12 smaller circles. One of the small circles glows brightly, but the other 11 gives off a little light. They flicker and fade like dying embers. Between his hissing curses, Durance lowers his face close to the staff and blows on the fading circles with panicked rapidity, coaxing light from them, but they do not ignite. One by one, the light of the circle dies, and smoke rises from their ashes. Durance hurls his staff at his feet, and it clatters to the ground. Its edges have become soft, difficult to find. Like its owner, the staff has become a blur. You close your eyes and reopen them, and Durance is there, picking up his staff from the ground, but the blur is gone, and you are awake. More into the quest of Durance. I had another dream about Durance. I saw a burning symbol on his staff, a circle of 12 smaller circles, and as I watched it, 11 of the 12 faded out. In my dream, Durance seemed to try to rekindle them, but it was no use. Perhaps Durance will know what it meant, as he did with the last dream. And Durance wants to talk with us. So let's talk with him. Does something ail you? I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
I had another vision of you, one of the symbols on your staff. It was dying.
You see many things that aren't there, Watcher. Perhaps the symbol was for your disappearing sanity, and we are to bid it farewell while you still have the wits to grieve for it.
It was the good hammer symbol. I saw 12 circles. 11 faded away.
No riddle there, Watcher. It took 12 of us to build the Godhammer. Afterward, I took my leave of all of them to see what Margaret had in store for me. I've seen none of them since.
Are you sure there isn't more to that story?
Your kind has a way of interpreting its visions to fit the version of the truth you like best. But Magren's flame leaves no room for interpretation. Waste the time of others with your distortions and your fever dreams.
Flames distort all that lies around them, and you never seem to be far from a flame.
It's always the way of the mad to try to convince others of a reality only they can see. But when your doctrine's the truth, it requires no convincing, only an opening of the eyes. I would purify you, Watcher, if I thought it would help.
I want to ask you something different.
The cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
I wanted to ask about the region and its history. We have everything.
I suspect the answers will seed more questions.
Tell me about the God Hammer.
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
Goodbye. Durance was evasive when I asked him about the fading circles on his staff. He claimed it represents its lost connection with the other engineers of the Godhammer, whom he left behind to follow his own path after the destruction of Iotas. When the time is right, I'll see if there isn't more to be learned about this.
Oh?
Okay, so we got to level up for Maneha and Zahua with this quest, so let's do that as well. More athletics and skills. Dragon Leap. Yes, that's perfect. Let's use this. I could use this for attacking the casters, which are a little bit away. And let's check Zahu as well. And the skills. Now this will be a little bit... That's interesting. No, no. Let's do this.
Certainly.
And I forgot to check the armor. Oh, these two. And no belt. 11, 8. So... I'll give it to Aloth. We'll see. Oh. Let's see if there is a chance to level this up, or if not, I will give it the rather to... No. I'll give it right away to... Maneha. No. I don't have anything on Monk. Good. Okay. Everything done for now. And Aloth wants to
Last
talk with
thing the
me.
Deerwood needs is another foreign colony.
So let's check what he has to say.
Please, stop.
I heard about the riots in Defiance Bay, and the interruption during the hearing. There's something I need to tell you.
Go ahead.
I have not been entirely honest about my motives for traveling with you up to this point. When I finished my training in Adir, I was introduced to an organization. All I knew was that they were opposed to the unchecked spread of animancy, and that they could guarantee me postings far away from the Seathwood my father and his Earl. At that time, it was enough. In the early years, I thought of them as many things. Hooded men, prudent teachers, the Leaden Key. Their rules were strict, but their guidance was clear. I sincerely believed they wanted to keep Kith from the folly of their own foolish ambitions. I came to the Deerwood a little over a year ago. My orders were to gather information on animancy in the region. A senior contact met with me every few months to receive my reports and issue new leads. She sent me to Gilded Vale to keep an eye on events surrounding the local lord, but I lost track of her shortly after that. I don't know if she was reassigned, killed, or sacrificed, the way you saw. At the time you met me, I'd been on my own for a couple of months.
You knew I was coming.
I couldn't have. I'd been out of contact with my superiors for months. I needed some kind of direction. After that scrape with the locals, I was ready to get out of town. But then you mentioned the hooded figures in the machine, and I was sure you were on the trail of the Leaden Key. And I was correct in a way. What we found wasn't what I expected. I knew the Leaden Key was trying to stop animancy, but I didn't realize how far they'd gone. Murder, sabotage, abandoning entire districts to shambling horrors. And now the whole city is up in flames. I'm still not sure about animancy, but I know I've been following the wrong master. Please, accept my apology, and my service. Let me fight with you to stop Theos.
I forgive you a lot, but I want you beside me, not behind me. I'm not asking you to trade one master for another.
That would be an honor.
Before we move, I'd like to discuss a few things. How may I be of service? That's all.
Yes?
Okay. So, I think it's time to get back to White Marsh to check on the second expansion. Let's try the high level challenge as well. Devil of Karak is back. Okay. I have my doubts that upscaling one March 2 was a good idea,
Oh?
but whatever. Let's try to
Need something?
Yes?
Uh-huh.
Zawa is ready.
find
Yes?
out if it was okay or not.
While we wait, the enemy grows stronger.
And you'd send more of us to die!
Well, I'm not gonna stand around. Are you?
You've done plenty, Darian!
You approach the source of the commotion and see a throng of villagers. They're arguing among themselves and hurling questions and demands at a lone figure perched above them. A young man stands on a spur of rock, his clenched fist held aloft. Steam rises from his wild hair and flushed face as he shouts to the gathering.
Been a week since our people left these gates. A week since the Iron Flail took them.
He paces the outcropping, his eyes burning. You see a few scattered knots in the crowd.
Yet we wait here behind our sturdy new walls, hiding in our rebuilt homes. We've done nothing.
He brings his fist into his palm with a sharp smack. The crowd erupts, bristling with pointed fingers and pointed words. One woman steps forward, her eyes lock on the young man.
Who are you to tell us how to defend our own? You ain't been here 2 months!
Several of other grunt and hoot. You feel a shift in the crowd like a changing tide.
And since I got here, I've been working alongside the rest of you. Don't start with that again.
A handful of others nod along with him, but they cringe and flinch as another villager joins the fray, shaking his finger at the young orator.
Well, it was your idea to send our people to that damned fort in the first place! If it weren't for you and the other leeches that come up with you, we wouldn't be in this mess!
The new accuser raises a chorus of furious cries. Durian raises his hands for calm, but the crowd's wrath is snowballing. Continue listening.
Enough. Enough!
Darian waves for calm, but the crowd has worked itself into a frenzy. He scans the assembly, beads of sweat rolling from his temples. His eyes fall on you, and he points.
You want to boot all the Outlanders from your town? Tell that to the hero of the White Forge!
A dozen heads turn in your direction. The villagers recognize you, and their eyes widen with hope and reverence. Enough shouting. I want someone to calmly explain what's going on. He nods.
It's a small army from Raid Saris. They call themselves the Iron Flail.
At Durian's mentions of the name, the rest of the crowd falls silent. The words trigger a sudden flashback to your dream of the mysterious army and the destruction of Kednua. As the image fades, you see once more the vision of 100 eyes, watching you and something just beyond.
Showed up a few weeks after you opened the battery. Demanded we give him the White Forge.
He avoids your gaze, scraping his boot against the rock.
They're led by a Darek Sendamir. Comes from an old Raid Saren family. The rumor has it the man's half mad with visions. Claims one drove him here to take the White Forge.
In Zawa's experience, if one is only half mad with visions, the dose was too low.
They're not the only bloodsuckers around here!
The villager glares up at Durian, but most of his fellows are ignoring him by now. Durian raises his voice above the ruckus.
Our crew at the battery locked their doors and told the Iron Flail to go back to Raid Saris. Instead, they built a fort in the middle of the wood. So we sent a committee to reason with them. But that was a week ago, and we haven't seen our people since.
A low rumble ripples through the crowd. Durian hesitates.
That can only mean one thing.
He grimaces as the frightened, arguing crowd drowns him once more. Can you share the White Forge with Red Serens? The villagers shout and squall louder than ever.
After what they did to our neighbors?
Only thing they know how to do is start wars.
Please, everyone!
In the fragile silence that follows, the others turn and look at the Ryan.
Whatever our difference is, we've got to deal with the army at our gates.
He looks back at you.
You've done a lot for Stalwart already. Many of us wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for you.
He breaks off, looking as if he'd like to stuff his words back into his mouth. After an uneasy pause, he swallows and continues.
What I mean is, if anyone could deal with an army, it's you.
Just show me where the fort is.
The Iron Flail cleared a patch of forest north of Durgan's battery, built their fort there. It'll be well guarded, so if you can get in without raising an alarm, you may have an easier time of it. The important thing is to deal with the commander. If you can get rid of him, the rest of the soldiers will scatter.
I think I've dreamed about this army.
What exactly did you see?
He watches you with wide, wondering eyes. A murmur ripples through the crowd. Stalwart was destroyed. The villagers gasp and exchange panicked whispers.
Then let's just hope there's still time to prevent it.
His voice is firm, but his face is ashen.
Anyway, we've got our work cut out for us here.
He gives the crowd a purposeful look. Grumbling, they start to disperse.
While you're out, stop by the battery. Wangra and her team are still repairing the heavy cannons, but they've made a lot of progress elsewhere. Thought you might like to see how far it's come.
I wanted to ask you about something.
Haven't been here long, but I'll tell you what I can.
What brought you to Stalwart?
Work. I was a cobbler in New Yarma, but the city got more crowded every year. Rural types fleeing the legacy. A couple months ago, I heard Stalwart was offering land and opportunity to new settlers, so figured I'd give it a go out here. For a while, folks seemed glad to have some new blood, but that changed as more and more of us came.
There seems to be a lot of tension around town.
Before you opened Durgan's battery, people tell me Stalwart barely had enough warm bodies to keep the town running. A bunch of us came when we heard about the White Forge, but now, I think the old-timers would just as soon send us back.
He begins ticking items off on his fingers.
We take the best jobs, we don't pay our respects to Andra, we're overcrowding the town.
He shakes his head.
I get it. Stalwart's changing. Same thing happened in New Yarma when folk moved in from the countryside. But they can't keep blaming us for everything that goes wrong out here.
He sighs, and a steaming cloud escapes his lips.
I'm just hoping they'll calm down once the Iron Flail is gone.
Tell me about the Iron Flail.
They heard about the White Forge and came running, just like a lot of us did. Only difference is, they brought siege weapons. As best anyone can tell, they're from the border region near Little Bend, one of the poorest parts of the country. For Raid Ceres, well, that's saying something.
That's all. A fort has been built to the east of Stalwart. It may house the army I seek. The fort was built by Red Serans with an interest in capturing Durgan's battery. Stalwart sent a group of delegates from among their residents to try and parley with the Red Serans, but the delegates never returned. The villagers of Stalwart are concerned about a band of Red Serans known as the Iron Flail, which has come to the mountain with the intention of claiming the battery for themselves. A group of delegates was dispatched to negotiate, but they have not returned. The Iron Flail has erected a fort in the mountain pass to the northwest. Any answers as to the fate of the stalwart delegates will lie there. Darian asked me to deal with their commander, Adaric Kendamir. The heavy cannons at the top of the west tower of Durgan's battery were once a powerful defense. They could be a valuable safeguard for the battery, and me. Darian mentioned that Vengra and her crew are repairing the battery heavy cannons. It would be worthwhile to check on them. These cannons could be a formidable weapons against the army from my vision. Okay, that's all the new quests. And we have 2 new buildings repaired. So let's check the stalwart.
The Iron Flail has folk up in arms about foreigners, and not just raid Sarens. I'm hoping everyone will settle down once they're dealt with.
He gives you a tight frown. Farewell. Is it true? I saw the lights from the battery. Did you really open it? The Orland claps his hands in wonder. I can't believe it. I was sure I'd never make this road again. But who knows what rarities will come from those hells. Such an exciting time. How's business? Improved and getting better still. His ears twitch and his face breaks into a wide smile. Thanks to you and the White Force, there is great demand for my wares. Would you like to trade? Show me what you have for sale. Okay, so let me see if this is good for anyone in my group. Perception. Nope. Him. Her. And him. Interesting. Let's buy it. Okay, that's the best person to have
Yes?
it. Renegil never said negotiating trade agreements was part of the job. Let's talk to him. Run for mayor, they said. It's an easy job, they said. I should have stayed in the mines. He noticed you approach, and his eyes widen. Emulian, what brings you back to Stalwart? You're always welcome here. He beams at you. What was that about a negotiation? There's a group of merchants from Defiance Bay interested in a trade agreement with Stalwart. Their representative, Nesta, is staying at the Gref's Rest. I've been avoiding her because I have zero experience with treaties and contracts. And all that, I was a miner, not a diplomat. Maybe you could talk to her on my behalf? He looks at you hopefully. As a mayor, I'll give you full authority to negotiate on Stalwart's behalf. What makes you think I do any better than you in a negotiation? You're the hero of Stalwart, the man who reclaimed the White Fort. Of course you do better than me. I'll go talk to Nesta then. Thank you. As I said earlier, you can find her in the Grove's Rest. I'm pretty busy, so I'm pretty busy. So unless there's something else, how's Stalwart doing these days? We've rebuilt the western palisade is fixed and some fancy merchant set up shop where Katie's house used to be. He gestures at the temple. We've also got a proper temple to Abidan again. Never understood why the Andrites stuck around Stalwart in the first place. Forever. Mayor Tarfors wants me to escort Nesta around Stalwart and help hammer out the terms for a trade agreement with the Defiance Bay. Tarfos has no confidence in his own negotiation abilities, so he wants me to handle it instead. Nesta is waiting for me inside the Grove's Rest. I'll have to meet with her to start the trade negotiation.
Hmm?
Well, I swear there's something strange going on in the mines. If you're looking for work, Ismi might have something for you. Who is Ismi? Oh. Scattered spots of yellow powder blotch the surface of the barrels. The stench of sulfur lingers in the air. So let's find the Ismi. And we have also Stalwart Mines opened. The Abydonians took over Ondra's temple. Stalwart needs skilled smiths more than ever. Iron Flayford and Whitestone Hollow. New places on the map. At least back home you could get good Valian wine.
This is going to be fantastic. Just wait till they hear about this back home.
Let's check the new temple.
Step lightly.
The smooth anvil hardly looks like it's seen use.
Oh, come on! Stupid sword!
This ward breastplate is still warm from the forge. This slightly synced piece of paper has a charcoal drawing on the front. So let's talk to Masca first. Okay, now you're just pissing me off. She slams her forge hammer down on the unfinished blade with a loud clank. Straighten out, damn you! Temper, Masca. The older priest glares at Maska reproachfully. Sorry, master. It just slipped out. She takes a deep breath and releases it slowly. What's wrong with the sword? Where to begin? She gestures at the rapidly cooling lump of iron in her anvil. For one, I can't manage to shape the metal no matter how hard I try. Master Angrim says envision a sword. So I'm envisioning really, really hard. I think I'm ending up with a club. Maybe a mace, if I'm lucky. But no sword. If my work doesn't improve soon, they'll kick me out of the temple. Can't be a priest if you're not a proper smith. Unless you help me. I'm not a blacksmith. Oh, that's not the kind of help I'm asking for. I snuck a peek at Master Engrim's lore books and came across a ritual that can enchant a forge hammer to boost smithing skills. That's exactly the kind of edge I need. I've already completed the first part of the ritual, crafting the hammer. Unfortunately, the next two parts require travel to the Deerwood, and there's no way Master Engrim will let me leave anytime soon. Isn't crafting using a magical forge hammer unethical? I'm not trying to show anyone up. I just want to appear competent. Buy myself time until I'm actually competent. I'd better get back to it before Master Engrims gets annoyed with me. I'll complete the forger hammer ritual for you. That's great. She hands you a forge hammer. That hammer actually turned out all right. The first place you'll need to go is the Shrine of Abaddon in Crushable Keep. That's in the first fires district in Defiance Bay. I've never been there myself, just place the hammer at the shrine and it should get blessed. Or something. After that, you'll need to find the Shrine of Magram in Magram's Fork. It's not far from Defiance Bay, to the north of the city, I think. Do the same thing with the hammer at the shrine, then head back here. Why did you decide to become an acolyte of Abaddon? It's a family tradition, one I've managed to keep going. She glares at the unfinished sword at her anvil. Barely. For a while. Maska, an acolyte at the Temple of Abaddon in Stalwart Village, wants me to complete a ritual that will bless her forge hammer and boost her abilities as a smith. Her current skill level is quite poor, and she's afraid she'll be kicked out of the temple if she doesn't show improvements soon. She asked for my help with the ritual since she's unable to leave Stalwart. Travel to the Crucible Keep in First Fire and bless the hammer at the Shrine of Abaddon in the keep.
Certainly.
This shrine to Abaddon is smooth and shiny as if it were made recently. Engrim nods at you and smiles in recognition. Ah, the kind Lord of the White Forge. We owe you great debt for the industry and faith you restored here. Welcome to the Temple of Abaddon. What do you do here? I lead this temple and guide the acolytes in matter both spiritual and mundane. He indicates the forge and animals. Worshippers of other gods pray or meditate. We Abaddonians venerate our gods through the act of smithing. Our doors are always open and our forge always alight. How may I help? This used to be a temple to Ondra. He tilts his head to one side. Back when this was a dying, forgotten place. But the clerics who tended it left, as is customary of their goddess. The throngs who have since come to Stalwart sought a more practical deity. For a will. Well, I will
Oh?
not tell him yet, or at all, about the Maska's wish. Hmm. No, it's here. I'm just thought that the fish stuff is gone as well. So let's run a little bit around and talk to Royce.
Mila?
This woman looks at you like she's used to hearing bad news. She shakes her head and holds up her hands before you can even begin. Look, can tell Hammond that I ain't seen Mila all day, and besides, he ought to keep a better eye on his shop if he don't want a little aunts poking around. She folds her arms and plants her feet wide. Mila, I think you mistaken me for someone else. I didn't recognize you. You're the one who opened up the battery, aren't you? Royce looks both embarrassed and nervous as she stumbles over her words. It's just that my daughter, Mila, I mean, she spends time over at Hammond's tent. Gets underfoot. She shrugs, exhausted and exasperated. Figure he sent someone over to complain about her again. But you ain't here about her, huh? You don't know where your own child is? She backs away like she's been slapped. I didn't say that. Unable to look you into the eyes, her gaze darts to the ground, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. But it's hard keeping track of her. What with all the commotions around here lately. Yeah, I think I was right the first time. You don't know where your child is. Rose's eyes narrows down into slits, the edge brimming with water. She swallows hard and slowly exhales before continuing. She's been out for quite a while now. That's nothing new. She chews her lip, wondering. Still, I can't help but worry that she's gone and gotten herself into some trouble. If you could keep an eye or two open for her while you're in town, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll make sure she's not in any trouble. Oh, thank you. Everyone is so busy that these days, with the mines and the forge opening back up again, it's kind of you to help. I have a few questions for you. Might her father know where she's gone? Please don't worry him. He's in enough trouble at his job already. She smiles weakly. Truly, all of us appreciate what you did, opening the battery back up. Folks like my Ludgar are making good money, patching up all the damage out front. Please, don't set his mind spinning about where Mila is. He's Mila's father. If she's in trouble, it isn't right to hide it from him. And I'm her mother. A wrinkle of annoyance creases her forehead. I know you're trying to help, but I really think it's best to not discredit Ludger while he's working. Is there someplace Mila likes to run off to? She often takes off to Hammond's Emporium, she shrugs. Has a problem with looking at things instead of touching them. Hammond's been on my back the past few days to keep her away. Show her the drawing. Do you recognize this place? She squints at it. Mountains and a cave? Lot of those in these parts. She squints. Those lines there could be standing stones, like the west at Whitestone Hollow. Huh, I don't know why she would go off there. Leave. Royce can't seem to find her daughter Myla. Myla's been getting herself into trouble around Starwald lately. Her mother Royce hasn't seen her, but mentioned that she's been bothering Hammond, the new shopkeeper. Royce mentioned that her husband Ludgar is stationed at Durgan's battery. She told me not to mention Myla's disappearance to him. I found one of Myla's drawings at the temple. It depicts children playing near a cave. I should ask someone who knows Myla well to see if they know more about this place. The place Myla drew is somewhere in Whitestone Hollow. Okay, so the new place. Okay, let's go a little bit around more. The moon's been dark all week. It's a sign, I tell you. So let's go into the fishery. Been to Hammond's Emporium yet? It's where Kyrie's house used to be. Oh, it's you. Is it true? You really saw the White Forge? I didn't stop at looking. What? Things are going to be rough around here with Grind gone. He kept the place going. Sorry, I shouldn't bother you with that sort of thing. Can I get you anything? Nothing right now. Okay, I think that was wrong answer. Nah, whatever. Let's check the other places. Aska.
Blazes. What am I to do with all of these?
A well-built dwarven woman stands before you, one hand on her head and the other holding a few sheets of paper. 3 complaints of blights in Whitestone Hollow, and who are these people? Megran's faithful? Great, another pack of religious zealots. It's like they're popping up out of the snow these days. She glances up at you. Oh, sorry, Mammalian. It's just a little preoccupied. Things may have quieted down some with the ogres lately, but there's been no shortage of new trouble. Or worse, for those interested. Just think. You mentioned blights. The terror of Whitestone Hollow. It's a grand blight that turned up after the avalanche. A real disaster. That, a great big heap of snow, right on top of one of our main trade routes. We can't start fixing the roads until we get the blights out of there. Can't exactly ask you to bring back this thing's head, but Word is that Terror's last Viking was a caravan master. Turns out the fellow always wore a certain brooch. Figure it's somewhere in that monstrosity's belly. Bring me the brooch and I'll take it as a proof you handled the blight. Sounds fair? Who are Magran's faithful? Bandits and horde thieves, far as I can tell, led by a woman named Redwith. Problems is their village group keeps growing, and they've started touring through some of the smaller villages. They were last spotted by Searing Falls, and the rumor is they're headed in our direction. Stalwart's just getting its bearings. We can't afford this kind of trouble. Bring me Redwit's head, and I'll see you a little richer for it. Leave. A recent avalanche killed dozens of travelers and tradesmen on the road to Whitestone Hollow. Their souls form a blighted no haunts the countryside. Aska believes that Caravan Master distinctive brooch is frozen inside the blight. After I kill the creature, I can retrieve this brooch to claim my reward. Brigands calling themselves Magran's Faithful have been pillaging small towns through Deerwood. Given Stalwart's recent influx of wealth, they worry they may be the band's next target. Magran's Faithful have been heading north and were last seen at Searing Falls. They are led by a woman named Redwith. So 2 more bounties. Looks like you can't get into this. Hammond's Emporium. Another supplicant. Let's send Grieving Mother with him. Okay. Looks like that's it. Another villager, and give me a few minutes, will ya? Well, you are staying there a few weeks already.
I'll see what's ahead.
Father wants me to stay inside for a time. I don't think I can face anyone just yet.
They came to tell me about the battery. How you've gone ahead and done the impossible. You have my respect. That fortress has been haunting us for ages. A shared dream nobody could get their hands on. Maybe this will be the kick in the rear that Stalwart needs.
Welcome. What can we do for you?
Very well. The inn will be... Pleasure to see you. The inn will be the last one.
You really did it! I mean, people have always come through here, talking about opening the battery, claiming the White Forge, all that. But I didn't think anyone would ever really manage it. I told Renegild I'd be willing to help with getting the mines back in order. You know, do my part. Figure we can turn this place around. now that you've laid the foundation. Hey there. Let me know if you need anything.
I'll be going.
Take care.
I'm still looking for someone to take care of those dangerous folk roaming the area, if you're up to it. Told you the White Fort was in there. Now, you owe me. Shh! Look, that's the man who found it. If it isn't the hero of the White Forge, Renengild nods in greetings. She looks more relaxed than you've ever seen here. You come back to check on your handiwork? Or are you just here to wish me a happy retirement? Why did you retire? She stretches. I've had enough of politics and town quarrels for this lifetime. So when Tarfos told me he was tired of the mines, I asked him if he was ready to really get his hands dirty. Almost feel sorry for the guy. Farewell. Diana's house.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
Leave.
And then you hit your own father?
Not I. That was Isilmir.
Yeah, but you're the same person.
Fine cock's feathers to that!
I see your point.
Hammond's Emporium.
Would I interest you in a new blade?
Step lightly.
You can see your own reflection in these shields. This looks like Stalwart from the road to Deerwood. Cheap perfumes line the bottom shelf. These identical Abaddon figurines are all of equally poor quality. How can you understand the word people here say? The shopkeeper's clothes seem a little nicer, if not terribly warm, compared to what you've seen around Stalwart. His hair is immaculately coiffed, and his rosy cheeks look like they've barely been touched by the mountain winds. Welcome, welcome. I've got arms and armor, all top quality. Or perhaps you'd like to see potions? Always a pleasure to meet respectable company out here, anyway. There's a little girl, Myla, that comes around here. I heard she's been causing trouble for you. She's out of control, though I suppose one can hardly blame her, what with the way her own mother's always screaming at her. He leans across the counter and speaks to in a conspirational whisper. I mean, where do you think the little rascal learns that kind of behavior, hmm? He tilts his head. Only person I've ever seen give her a proper talking to is that wild woman who loiters by the hut just south of here, Aska, that's her name. I don't know what it was about, but the girl's eyes were this big. He curves his hands into circles as large as goose eggs. But I suppose someone's got to do it. I told the girl's mother I'd be speaking with Meyer Tarfos if I caught her peeking around my shop again, so I guess it worked. He shrugs. Show me what you have for sale. Oh. Soulbone crossbow. And the color code. That's interesting. And I might purchase it. +3 to resolve. Oh. Some of the items are really good. Okay, let's get these 2 items and Hammond hasn't seen Myla, but he saw Aska scolding her the other day. Aska's usually by the yurt just south of Hammond's shop. Okay, inventory. The hat. Let's give it for a while to Aloth. And we'll see who will get the most benefit from the weapon. Okay, let's keep it for a while here. And I'll think about the armor as well, which is nice.
So, Alof, have you ever woken up to find your other half used your body during the night?
I don't think I understand you. And I'm not sure I want to.
Well, I've found that if I go to sleep hungry enough, I wake up covered in blood and delightfully full.
Funny. Looking for work? I know we've got plenty to do around here. I heard you scolded Roy's girls. Aska cocks her head, thinking for a moment, then she begins laughing. You know what that girl did? Snatched a whole chicken from the Grave's rests, raw. Told her I'd better not catch her thieving again, but I was trying my damnedest not to laugh. Funny kid. She wipes a tear from the corner of her eye. But it's gotta be rough on her, you know? Her old man's working at the battery, and he's one absence away from getting fired. Again. Blazes. Only reason Ludgar still has a job is cause when grass softly beneath all that suit. But Myla, she showed up at the battery the other day and nearly got him sacked. Since then, I've seen her keeping to herself, spends a lot of time at the temple, come to think of it. Things may have quieted down some with the ogres lately, but there's been no shortage of new trouble or work for those interested. Just saying. Do you recognize this place? She squints at it. Mountains and a cave? A lot of those in these parts, she squints. 2 lines there could be standing stones, like the ones at the Winestone Hollow. No offense, but you got us some work to do in perspective. Aska mentioned that Myla doesn't seem to have a lot of guidance. Her father, Ludgar, works at Gurgen's battery and has trouble keeping a job. Myla got in trouble recently for visiting him, and she's been hanging around the village temple ever since. Okay. And getting into the inn, all these newcomers from the cities, I can feel them looking down their noses at us. And as I started before, I think this will be it, because it's getting a little bit late after the lunch. So, once again, thank you for watching with me, and I really hope you enjoyed my game. Anyway, thank you, and if you like it, feel free to follow me on Twitter. Sorry, I don't have Twitter, right? Follow me on Twitch and maybe on Mixer. And if you liked everything, you can as well subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you!